again from the Rai in Amsterdam at IBC. And with me is Benjamin Lardinoit. He is the CEO of On-Hertz. And Benjamin, in layman terms, can you explain to me what software do you produce and make?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Sorry for my voice. 4 days of trade show is terrible. We are doing audio-first production software. So it's really an engine, an audio engine, and it's very modular. So the goal is to be able to say, okay, this is the pipeline that I want to have, and then we have web UIs, and that means you can do many things with that audio engine.
Okay, we've known each other already a long time, I think since the beginning of On-Hertz. How did the product evolve during those years? What's the change cycle like?
So the key idea has always been to be fully software. So that was the start. You know, broadcast has been hardware driven for a very long time, and hardware is doing a good job for decades. So our take is to say, okay, we want to take the advantages of hardware, but really convert it to software, and then double on software approach. So an API that is open and documented, that allows deep integration, like with queues, for example. That's a good example right there. Web interfaces that are naturally distributed. That's really the key things where we think, software makes sense.
So you have your pipeline product, Assisto,
Yeah.
And on top of that you provide different kinds of interfaces or custom-made products also for certain customers. How does that work, and how does that workflow or that sales process and thing work for you?
So, as you said, Assisto is really the basic layer. It's the basis of everything we do. And then on top of it, we have different possibilities. Either we come up with turnkey solutions. So, for example, we have radio studios in the cloud. We just announced a partnership with RCS, the famous radio automation solution. We do disaster recovery with them. The other option is to say, okay, this is like Lego bricks. And with these Lego bricks, we try to make it as simple as possible, that you can design exactly what you want to do. So it could be a TV studio. It could be like a DPG Media, for example, in Belgium and Netherlands. They do 24/7 news studio with Tinkerlist and On-Hertz, actually. Yep. And they really designed everything from scratch on their end.
How you see the uptake of software-driven processes? Has it been better than before? Do you see
it's
growth
been much better,
there?
yes.
And so, how come?
So the quick answer is COVID.
Yep.
COVID was really a reality check for the whole industry. Suddenly you could not access your studios anymore. And even your people at home, you cannot really provide them with hardware because they cannot set it up, and you cannot enter the house to do that setup for them. So for everybody it was like, oh, now we have a problem. What's happening? How can we go around this?
Right.
So it's not one thing that changes, overnight. But now when they are designing a new system, they have this in mind. And when they renew their setup and infrastructure, they are willing to go, at least a good chunk of it will be software, if not software-based.
That's a promising idea. Also for us, because we believe in software-driven innovation and architectures, of course, and open APIs. That's why we can talk together and integrate our systems with ease, obviously. Well, I know you haven't had time to go around the expo, so I'm not going to ask you what your favorite tech was, but what are you building in the future? Well, what's next for On-Hertz? Well, what are you focused on when it comes to the software, the tech?
So we are excited here at the show to introduce native 2110 support. Again, fully software. So that means that you can now take this very modular engine and put it into any 2110 network. And that's actually the goal, because if you think about it, a few years ago it was all about, okay, IP. But IP was really only the wires
just
that changes.
Yeah.
Yes. We replaced SDI, for example, in XLRs by a network cable. But that's only the beginning of it. The real next step is virtualization. And virtualization of the tools, of course, that needs to be distributed, that needs to be more agile. And one thing we are highly convinced of is, if you're a journalist, and again, Qs is a good example of this, you don't want your journalist to have all the settings of everything. He's not, if I'm talking about On-Hertz, he's not an audio engineer. He's not being not going to be able to set up
He doesn't know what a
compressor
compressor
or
is.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. But at the same time, in the next room or maybe at home, you have an audio engineer. That person needs to have the confidence and all the parameters. That's something that software can do easily.
Yeah, just hiding away the difficulties, technology becoming
Abstracting
invisible.
exactly
That's the promise of software. It has always been, I think.
Exactly, yes.
And that's what we're trying to achieve. Excellent. Well, Benjamin, thank you very much for being here.
Yeah.
And I hope you find your voice back soon.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that was the last show for me today at IBC in Amsterdam, so I can't see you in the next one, but we'll definitely see you next year for more on Q's at IBC in Amsterdam. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.